Hi everyone, good morning. How are we all doing? Are you having a good week so far? Thank you so much for joining me for Midweek Makes. Let's say hello to a few people before I get tied into explaining what we're doing. Tracy's Creative Place was first on YouTube. Hi, how are you? Hi Vicky, long time no craft, but you're back. Oh, where have you been? Just a break from crafting? Lovely to have you back though. Paula, good morning to you. And Elaine, Nova, Laurie Fall, and Francisca. Hello everybody. Let's pop over to Facebook as well. So we're doing both channels again, Facebook and YouTube. Seemed to work okay last time. Good morning Carol Lewis, you were first on Facebook. Hi Lynn Morton, yes I'm very well thank you. Hello Sam and Anne-Marie. Jenny from Australia, Marie Bland, lots of people joining us, lovely. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at this. This is one of those lives where I haven't prepared. Last week I was so prepared and I knew exactly what we were going to be doing. This week I'm going to show you a technique which you've probably all seen lots of times before, but I'm going to kind of try and expand on it and see what we can do with it. And then I don't know. We'll see what we make. I'm going to work with butterflies though, because I noticed the Mariposa collection from Craft Stash, from Textures, but at Craft Stash is getting quite low on stock. So if you did like this collection when it came out, there's literally a handful of each of these items. In fact, some of them might not still be there, but I'm pretty sure most of these we've still got a little bit left. Excuse me. Vicky, or Victoria, sorry. Hi Lou, can't stay today, got a few things on this morning, we'll watch later. Don't worry. That's all right. We know you all have things to do. I'm just grateful if you did get a chance to come and have a chat. I know for some crafters, maybe if you're not able to get out all the time, it's nice to have a little chat, isn't it? Anne-Marie, we'll take what you give, Lou. I'm glad you can hear me at least. I think you're answering my questions so you can hear. Carol's got this collection. Okay, so I'm also going to be bringing in this embossing folder. I absolutely adore it, and there's so much you can do with it, and I thought it's going to work really well with the technique that I'm going to do. Hi Christine Howard, how are you? So let's start. First of all, let's put the butterflies to the side. I mean, to be honest, and I have said this before, it's nothing new, but I'm not a huge butterfly fan. In fact, they petrify me if they come near me, but I absolutely love them in card making, surprisingly. I'm going to trim my cardstock down. Oh, another thing today, I'm only going to be using white cardstock. I've decided that I'm not going to be using any coloured cards, not even craft. I'm just going to use white, and everything I'm doing we're going to be inking up and distressing, and yeah, I think it's going to be a bit grungy today. So I've got my cardstock roughly the sort of size for my embossing folder. Also, I've got my mat. Have you seen? Oh, it's a bit dirty. Oh, I'm out of wipes. I need to use water and kitchen towel. I didn't clean this look last time. Is it this side? Yeah, it's that side. So I've put alcohol ink on my mat now so I can see it when I lay it down. Finally. Matches my logo, the little one you just saw in holding screen. How cool's that? I don't use my alcohol inks enough. I need to do things like that. Thank you Trish, that's lovely. Hi Yvonne, you love the butterflies. Hi Karen and Sandra, how are you all? I hope you're all doing well. Marie loves the Mariposa collection. Do you know what? I love it. It's one of my all-time favourites, and like I say, I've not done much with it lately because this isn't Mariposa, this was floral folk art, but the Mariposa is getting really low in stock, so I thought, do you know what, let's do one last live with it hopefully. So what I'm going to be doing today is working with ink on an embossing folder. You've probably all seen it done before lots of times, but then I'm going to be inking what's left as well. So I'm just checking the raised areas on the folder. So I'm going to be inking the front of it, so the side with the print on, and this is going to add ink into my background then. So I'm actually choosing to go with a distress ink rather than an oxide because I wanted to go with black, a black ink, but I didn't want to use the oxide because it's kind of a charcoal colour rather than a black. Oh, talking of oxides, I had a very naughty oxide video. The oxide video that I uploaded yesterday, no I didn't upload it actually, I've got another one scheduled for today, later today, which is in order, but naughty Mermaid Lagoon somehow got published. I obviously put the wrong date on it, so that wasn't due to come out for a week or two. And it came out yesterday, so thank you to all those who noticed that I'd missed out the L's in the Distress Oxide range videos that I'm doing on YouTube, but don't worry, I haven't missed out the L's. I am coming back to them. They are there, they are going to be happening. I've just got a little something in there, I don't know what it is. I think that'll be okay. A little bit of paper. So I've just inked that. I'm going to spritz a bit of water on my cardstock. Just a little tiny bit, not too much, front and back. Helps with the emboss. Hi Kobe from Western Australia. Don't worry about being late, I've only just started really. Good morning Sharon Stanley. Just back from walking the dog. Yeah, it's a nice day today. It's a bit breezy here. How is it for everybody? Do the usual weather update. How is the weather for everybody? So I'm going to pop this in like so. You can already see, well you can't actually, forget that, you can't see. Now on a big shot, I'm trying to remember what I usually do. I usually take out a clear plate and put in a rubber mat, I think. We have so many different combinations, I often forget what they are. So don't feel bad if you forget your plate combinations sometimes as well. And every machine's different, and do you know what, embossing folders are different as well. Let's bring this in so it's not quite so boring. I have got it on my Lazy Susan. You can just see me running this through, and I'm going to do it quite slowly. Good morning, managed to catch your first live. Oh, that's lovely to have you here. Thank you so much. Been using your Oxide stamps a lot recently. I'm glad, Jenny. Is it wrong, Sandra, that you're counting the days and you go home and have peace and quiet? No, it's not wrong at all. Not wrong at all. Right, I think that's enough. I've run that through a few times. I've allowed the water to kind of react with the ink as well a little bit. Now, sometimes you get a bit of a blotchy image. So I'm going to be really careful about... Oh, no, that's fine. That'll be fine. Just kept that in there. It's a bit grungy, but it's quite nice, isn't it? It's quite nice. Now, I'm going to dry this off before I do anything else. I'll give this a whiz dry with my heat gun. I'll be cutting around the edges, trimming those edges away. All in. It's lovely in Newcastle upon Tyne. Is it now? Marie's saying hello to her fellow West Aussie. Yeah, it's nice here. It's sunny here. Hasn't been, well, we had rain yesterday. Now, because I'm living in this sort of this house that's being renovated, when we moved in, the roof was leaking horrendously. The dormer to the extended bedroom was leaking horrendously as well. We've fixed the dormer. We've patched up the roof for now. Obviously, a roof is a big job. We've fixed the dormer as well. But last night with the heavy rain, I was so nervous. I kept going and checking all the sides of the dormer and the roof and the inside of the bedroom. That's the room we sleep in. I was so worried that we were going to end up with leaks, but it was all okay. It was all dry this morning. From Canada. Oh, lovely to have you here. We've also got Trish from New Zealand. Oh, you've been in New Zealand for 6 months. Are you back now then, Trish, or are you still out there? It looks effective. Yeah, it looks nice. We're going to make this so much nicer though. But that's pretty, isn't it? It is pretty. So what I'm going to do is a technique that I saw online. I'm not sure if it's going to work. That's my disclaimer for now. So it's basically, it was actually using Distress Spray Stain, but I've only got one of those with me today, and that is a green one, and I was like, I don't think the green's going to work. So basically, spraying stain all over, as you do, and then lifting it up off the surface, and hopefully allowing it to stay sat in the grooves. We shall see. And it won't be everywhere because the stain is a liquid. It's going to pool on the surface of the embossing folder, so I know it's not going to give me a perfect image, but I'm hoping to add a little bit of blue to that white cardstock. We shall see. It might be a complete disaster, but I really do enjoy trying these out. Look, it's happened already. I really do enjoy trying these out with you all. Give that a bit of a wipe. Okay, so now what I need to do is very carefully pop this back in the right place, and I think the best way to do that is slot it in I'm slotting it into the back panel, so I've given that a wiggle. You can feel that slot in there. Press that down and run it through again. We'll see what happens. Now because I've, oh, see, I can see that's not properly lined up. It wasn't lined up properly. Let's get that there. That should be correct. That's better. That's better. Okay, let's run that through again and see what happens. I'm hoping to get some patchy blue areas or teal areas on the white embossing, but it might not work. I'm just going to do this one. It's this one. The cardstock I'm using, oh, we've got a few little bits. It's added to the distress images. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit. I think I have to experiment with that technique. But it's still quite pretty, isn't it? Just adds an extra tone. Now I have to remember that there was blue ink in here. I might have to put that aside and give that a bit of a wash. So how are we going to pick out this detail? Now I'm thinking of going a bit grungy today. Holding your breath for me. It kind of worked, just only a little bit. Not in all the areas. We've got little bits. So probably the spray stain would have worked better. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Okay, so what are we going to pick that out with? Let's pick it out with, do you know what? Let's revert to my favourite. Should we go with brushed corduroy? I'm going with Distress Oxides. Antique linen. Now, where is my antique linen? There it is, brush. Oh, I was stretching behind me. Let's bring it off of here now. Let's see, maybe the blue will still sort of shine through. And I'm just going to brush this over ever so gently. A few different directions. It has gone quite grey though, hasn't it, rather than black. That's fine. There, that's picking up the top and it's not affecting the black. And we have actually still got the blue in the background. Little bits of blue. It's quite nice. The antique linen is just a nice subtle brown. It's not even a brown really, is it? It's more of a cream colour. So we're aging this. Let me see the day. You don't have stained fingers the day we know you're not well. I know, it's terrible. I've got every lotion and potion imaginable to try and clean my hands. But do you know what? Sometimes I just say it'll wear off. Just things like washing up and washing my hair actually ends up getting it off. There we go, a little bit of colour on there. Don't worry about the white background. Sorry, the white edge. That's going to go. Now let's add a bit more brown, something slightly darker. Brushed corduroy. It is slightly darker for around the edge. I'm going to be cutting this down, but just going to add a slightly darker edge here. So this is going to be my background. I have no idea what we're going to put on top. There we go. Now let's trim it so that white is not so distracting. The embossing folder is one of my faves, and I was not been able to use it. It's beautiful. Good morning, Tammy. How are you? Green would have looked nice. I will have to try green another time. I have got another. Oh, do you know what? I might do that. Okay, I'm thinking about what I can do with the butterfly. I've got some tin foil, and it probably sounds a bit silly, but I've got some tin foil and I want to be able to use it in a project. There's lots of different ways. I was going to use it with the embossing folder, but I've done that now. So I might use it somehow with the butterflies. You can obviously die cut tin foil. You can emboss it as well. You can stamp onto it. Oh, I don't know whether any of you have done that. Good morning, Tracy Ann. How are you? Have I said that already? Hopefully not. And Linda Parkin. Let's pop over to YouTube and see who's here. Elaine, sunny in North London. So much nicer than yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was horrible, wasn't it? It's quite chilly in the West Midlands with Lynn. Hi, Therese. Carol Archer, hi from New Zealand. How are you? All these people from all over the world. Do none of you sleep? Laurie, oh, that is, oh, okay, you're replying to someone else. Surgical Spirit to clean your hands and embossing folders, stamps, etc. It's brilliant. It smells like a hospital. I have no problem with things smelling clean. Absolutely no problem with things smelling clean at all. Yeah, good tip, Elaine. Lovely. Okay, so got our background. Do we want to bring in some, oh, do you know what? Foiling. Not foiling. I know what I mean. I know what I mean. What am I going to do, everybody? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know how it's going to work. We're going to have a play with the foil. So you might have to excuse the noise. The foil and stamping onto it. So first thing I'm going to do is put it onto some card. No, first thing I'm going to do is completely do this without planning. That's what we're here for. Take myself a smaller piece. I'm going to screw it up first and then try and gently smooth it out. Did anyone do this with, actually it was with Sam's favourite, so the Tunnock's tea cakes, the wrappers. When I used to go around to my nana's, special occasions within the family were always at my nana's house. She'd do a big sort of picky dinner, whatever you want to call it, and there'd always be Tunnock's tea cakes, and me and my cousins would always have a competition to see who could get the smoothest wrapper afterwards and smooth it all out. So okay, let's smooth that out. I mean, already you can see this is going to look pretty cool. It needs to be super smooth because I'm actually going to stamp on it. I know. I've got an idea now. Let's stamp. Let's stamp the bigger. No, let's stamp this one. Took the night off last night and got a notification you're on. It's 5:17 in Canada. Is it 5? Yeah, so it's 10 in the morning here. It's 10:15 in the morning here. Wow, I think that's fascinating. That you're all, you know, we're all on the same planet at the same time, and yet all different parts of our day. Anyone else fascinated by that? I think it's brilliant. Okay, so I am going to. I can put my magnet on. I don't know how well that'll hold because it's so thin. This material. I'm going to stamp with a clear ink. Should we try a bit of anti-static powder just out of habit before we heat emboss? Let's press this down. Clear. I'm just using Wow clear embossing ink. And see if we can get sort of a metallic looking, even if it's just an embellishment in the end. So stamp this onto the foil. I've no idea how this is going to stamp. It might be horrendous. We shall see. Just made all the empty packaging has to be made into something. Oh, do you mean like these? This packaging. Are those the ones? I don't have many empty things. Right, so pushing that down well. I can't see at all whether anything's stuck to that. I'm going to get some clear embossing powder. Like I say, it just may not work at all. We shall see. Clear powder over the top. This would be actually really cool to do this technique even without the stamp, but just with the creases, and just brush your ink pad over the creases in the foil. Can tin foil be embossed? We're going to find out. Oh, do you mean pressure embossed? Yes, it can. Okay. I'm not sure if that's worked or not. I think it has. I think, put a bit more here. I think the design's there. It's very, very hard to see. We're only going to find out once we heat it and I apply something over the top so that you can see it. So bear with me. I think I can see the butterfly in the background. I'm not sure. It's quite nerve-wracking. But obviously tin foil you can heat. Oh, it's It is melting nicely. That's a start. I'm not sure how well maybe a bolder design would have been better with this. So perhaps the bolder butterfly. But even if I just cut out actually the middle butterfly from this is lovely. Even the smaller ones. Right, so I think that has all melted. Then I'm going to take some black. Did I get paint out? You won't see anything on there. Let's see. Paint. I wanted some paint. Acrylic paint. Thought I got some out, but obviously not. I'm having a reach. I'm reaching. That's black, I think. I don't know if it's going to work because the foil is going to be just as resistant as everything else, isn't it? We shall see. Does anyone else mind this playing and experimenting, seeing what works and what doesn't? If it doesn't though, is this a brown? I think it's a bit of a brown. Not really a problem. Okay. I'm not sure it's going to work. I don't think so. But let's take a piece of kitchen towel. Tell you what though, the foil looks lovely. The actual creases in the foil. No, I can't see the embossing in there. That didn't work the way I hoped it would, but never mind. Let's get the paint off anyway. I wish I had some wet wipes. I know I shouldn't use them because they're bad for the environment, but they are so handy. But this looks really cool anyway as a background. I'm trying to see if I can see any tiny bit of the butterflies or the text in there. No, not really. Obviously just it's resisting exactly the same as the foil, but that looks awesome as a textured background, doesn't it? Really like that anyway. Just see, I can see tiny little bits of text in there. It's minute. There's no way you're going to see that on the screen. Let's dry this off. Black hands now. See, the funny thing is when I go to clean my hands I have to think about all the different mediums that I've had on them. Yeah, different colour embossing powder, well that would then just hopefully show through, wouldn't it? Yeah, don't have a go at this, Jenny. Do the VIPs ever come back on or are they just one-offs? Mostly just one-offs until they've sold out, until the product's sold out. We don't usually get them back. Which one in particular, Lynn? And I'll be able to tell you. Who's going to Doncaster next weekend, by the way? Yeah, sweet wrappers, crisp packets. So, in answer to your comment, Sandra, tin foil can be, it's getting really hot now. Tin foil can be pressure embossed, absolutely, but not so much heat embossed. What I'm going to do now is take another piece of kitchen towel. Now that's all dry, I'm going to dampen it and see if I can brush off a little bit more off the top of those creases. Just get a bit more of the silver coming through. Oh, it's looking really nice. I'm trying my best not to tear it. So just lifting a tiny little bit more off of the paint and bringing it back to the silver. It's like really old aged metal. Yep. Hang on, I'm trying to get it so you can see all those tiny little cracks and creases. I think it's lovely. Not what I was going for, but lovely nevertheless. Okay, so let's die cut that, shall we? Let's take my big, these big dies. Need to make sure they fit. It's 2 halves this die. Now you probably see me use this in art journals a lot, this half butterfly die here. This is again from the Mariposa collection. Where's this going to fit? Bring that down a little bit. So you can just squeeze that on, that'll go there. There we go, and cut all of that out. So from the Mariposa collection, the big butterfly, again very low in stock, but I did it so it's 2 halves, so if you don't want to do one huge butterfly, you can just do a half. It's obvious what the image is. You do also have the half wings, so like the layered parts of the wings with that. Let me see, Lynn, have you answered the Wow Heat Tool embossing powders deal? I think it's just that we ran out of stock of that, Lynn. Wow embossing powders do sell out really quickly, so I will take another look at a similar one. I think actually it was more the heat tool that sold out rather than the embossing powders. Tracy Ann, too far from you. You did go to Stamperia. How was it? Was it good? I will look at Lynn. I'll look into another heat embossing type VIP deal for you. I'm just going to run this through. I've got my die cutting machine off to the side here. Ideally, I suppose these should be put onto. Oh, I've just had an idea. Another one of my ideas. Let's make sure that's all die cut. I think I might run that through once more, just to be sure. I think it has all cut, but because it's so delicate, the last thing I want to do is be tearing or pulling at anything. Had to move away from the phone, kids. I'm really not sure about that, Lou. Perhaps it's better in person. Yeah, it is. It's really nice in person. All the cracks and creases. Let's just come over to YouTube. Thank you so much, by the way, all my new subscribers on YouTube. Really appreciate every single one of you. So I do a live every Wednesday, and then obviously regular videos also uploaded throughout the week. I don't really have, I have a new series starting on Friday, which is going to be really good fun. So it's going to be 5-minute makes on a Friday. So literally videos with 5-minute cards. So the first one's ready to go this Friday. Just being careful with the shape. There we go. Not sure how I'm going to get these out of the die without without tearing them. This is the only time of the week I have time to really experiment, and you get to see what works and what doesn't as well. Let's see, I just need a pokey tool. Right. I don't want to tear the foil if I can help it. I'm going to have to be really careful here. I think I'm going to end up tearing it, aren't I? So foil would probably work, I think probably work better if you're not going to do the next thing that I'm going to do, more experimenting, then certainly back your foil onto cardstock before you die cut it. And you can get metallic sheets as well, by the way. Mirror card would probably work well, although you can't get the sort of cracking and creasing effect in that beforehand. It's going to be a distressed butterfly either way, isn't it? So I suppose if there's a few little holes in its wings, it's not the end of the world. It means it can't fly around my head. So I'm going quiet just while I'm concentrating and pulling this out. There we go. I think wax paper would have been a good idea here. There we go, right, flatten that out. So I've got a cool metallic butterfly there. And it is really cool actually. I've got bits there that I could pop out if I'm careful. Like I said, I don't want to pop too much out and end up tearing bits too much, but I quite like the distressed look. Quite like the really grungy. If you're into sort of your Tim Holtz and Ideology, that sort of style, I think this would work quite nicely there. There's one there. There's a few bits around here. I'm going to do this twice. There's there's a giveaway as well on YouTube. The full In the Stars collection. So myself and the lovely Christine Stokes did a collaboration on Monday. I know lots of you watched that, so thank you to those who left me comments. We're giving away the full In the Stars collection to one person who comments on both of our channels. So, and that's open for about 2 weeks, so lots of time for that. Now I'm going to carefully put this butterfly down. I'm not so worried about the body actually. There we go. Let's just see. I'm just going to switch over and see what you can see there. I might actually map. I could map that onto a full butterfly. I've got to try and get another one out. One of those brushes for getting the pieces out. Yeah, could do. I've just got my poker tool with me today. Oh, I can't wait to have my entire studio, everything here. It's going to be wonderful. I'm not worried about the antenna actually because I've got my full one there. And do you know what? Does anyone else ever cut off the antenna for butterfly? I just can't often be bothered with them. This one's coming out a bit easier, but all the bits are still in, so I need to sit and pop out the bits. Hopefully it won't be too much trouble. We shall see. Who likes grungy anyway? Who's more sort of cleaner style? Not sure. That's quite a big piece there. Oh, this is good fun, isn't it? I'm really glad I started with this boy. I think it's going to look amazing. Just need to get all the pieces out. I think really distress these wings. I'm wondering about how to kind of stabilise the wings as well a little bit. I have actually got some spray acrylic somewhere. I think it's in the other studio, I'm pretty sure it is. But it might be worth me coming back to this another time and just giving the wings a spray with some clear spray acrylic just to kind of strengthen them a little bit. Or if I could ink them up, I could do clear embossing powder on them. That would look cool. Okay, getting there now. Just got a few more bits at the bottom here to pop out. And I'm just being quite random with the bits that I push out. A lot of it's holding its own. They're so cool. It looks like a butterfly, almost a butterfly skeleton. Is that such a thing? Can you get butterfly skeletons? Wouldn't this be cool at Halloween actually? Halloween's only just around the corner really. Sorry if you're loving the summer and I want to savour every moment of it. Always cut the antenna off. I know, me too. Yep. I'm not on my own then. Nobody wants to do that, do they? Grunge versus clean depends on your mood. I'm so much like that. I love doing things like rainbow colours, but then it always ends up being a nice clean card. Do you know what I think at the bottom here? I think I'm going to leave. I say that, don't I? I literally say I'm going to leave it and then I carry on poking bits out. Okay, so I've got the two halves of the butt. That looks really cool. I'll show you in a moment. I just need to get my butterfly. The antennas are off. The antenna have gone. But I need a full body. Okay. This is going to be cleaned up later. Let's create a base for the butterfly to sit on. So in here I have got the full shape. I'm going to have to distress it a little bit. I can't possibly just put on a full butterfly. So what colours should I make the base? I feel like it should be lighter rather than darker so it stands out. Okay, white cardstock. Where did I put it? It's behind me. You go for more clean, Laurie. Yeah, I think we do, but then there's a lot of techniques, isn't there, that we can transfer from one to the other. Clean and grungy. Just pick, certainly with grungy, you can kind of pick just a little bit of a technique. Don't worry about that now. We're gonna make that nicer. You've watched Lou's, you'll be watching Christine's. Yeah, so make sure you watch both mine and Christine's video on YouTube, and then you'll be able to be with a chance of winning. Just need to comment on both. I know lots of you have already. Could not resist. How am I saying your name, my love? Shadia? I'm not sure if that's right at all. You just purchased Sandy's Dainty Dreams Complete Collection. That was an amazing deal of the day, wasn't it, just recently? It was lovely. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Let's go with, we've got brushed corduroy, antique linen. Should we just see what these two look like together? First of all, got some bits on there. We'll do a bit of smooching. Wouldn't be alive with me. Shadia, is that right? I get it right. I'm awful with pronouncing names. I apologise. It is my downfall. Okay, so let's just smooch this. The tapping gives you the texture. There we go. Stop there, dry it off. It should lighten up quite a lot once it's dry. Do you know what? I don't usually go with creamy, ivory sort of colours, but I think this is going to work with this one to make it look more aged. It's not too bad, it's coming on. Let's get these patches dry, and then we can actually layer up a bit more. Or should we, I think we need to bring in a teal, a little bit of teal. I need to be careful, I don't want my butterfly going off. How am I doing for time? Okay, halfway through. Not too bad. And who's restricted to an hour anyway? Hi Maureen York, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Okay, so I'm going to leave that on there. And I'm going to bring in, now what did I use? That was, it was just a teal, wasn't it? Oh, definitely. Salvage patina. I didn't actually want quite as much of that as I've got. Probably going to go quite green, I'd imagine, mixed with the, yeah. Lovely, okay. So wipe this clean. Wasn't really enough of that to do anything with on there. Let's give this a whiz. There's always, hang on, is it a butterfly or a moth where the wings are, oh, I need to just check back on that comment, where the wings are see-through and you can see the veins through them. I thought it was a butterfly. Moths are kind of more solid, aren't they? I'm not sure. So I love this little bit at the top here, but I think that's going to be cut off with the butterfly. I'm not going to get that bit. Is this going to be big enough? Oh, that will work, won't it? There we go. Make sure you can see what I can see. Yeah. Sorry, I do have a tendency to come and work down the bottom here. Okay, so let's cut this out. I've got foil everywhere. It's a bit like gilding flakes, the bits of foil I've got everywhere at the moment. So let's run this through. I'm not worried that I've got a couple of white areas in that butterfly, because I think that will just help this other one stand out. What am I scratching on here? Ah, foil. There's foil everywhere in here now. It's like a kitchen. Right, let's go forward and let's come back again. So I'm going through a cardstock. I didn't mention earlier, did I? I started to say the cardstock that I'm using is Creative Craft Products. It's their stamping cardstock, which is nice and smooth and obviously white. And it's, I think it's 290 GSM, so it's a really good weight. Let's see. Go back out of this comment. Can I ask, do you store ink pads the right way up or upside down? Ah, now I switch them. The reason being, because my ink pads are stored in, I can't get them off the wall to show you. I'm going to have to share a photo on my page later. How I store mine is actually, if you're in the UK, I was in Poundland a while ago and I saw some cosmetic little story things. I'll have to show you what they are, and I store them in those. So the only way to fit them in was to have one the right, if I just grab a couple just to explain. So they're all on the wall in this storage thing, but I have to have them side by side with the middle one upside down, like so. and that's the only way they'll fit inside my storage unit. So what I tend to do is I switch around the middle one now and then. So of the three, they'll all have a bit of time upside down and the right way up. So that's kind of what I do. And do you know what? The ones that I store upside down and the ones that I store the right way up as such, the right way, normal way, I don't find much of a difference with how the ink is sitting on the surface of the pad. All very, very similar. Right, let's get this button. Now this is the exact same size as the foiled butterfly, so I don't need to worry about having a border or anything. So let's pop this down. If I pop that bit down and also some of the inside of the wings, not all of them, I'm a little bit lifted up, and I'm not going to flatten it down, I'm just going to place it there. Looking cool, looking cool. Okay, I took the long way round, I think, with this technique, but I think it's kind of, no, the antenna are going to be coming off, so I won't do that. I think I took the long way round, trying out different things, but I think the end result is going to be pretty cool. I hope so anyway. Let's pop this one on here. There we go. And then the body, and then I'll snip the antenna off afterwards. The body looks awesome. This is a nice way to make little metal embellishments. If you've got like bold letter or word dies, you could do it this way from the foil. Like I said, I think some wax paper inside would look good, so you don't get this tearing. How's that look? Does it look cool? I think so. I'm quite happy with that. Quite pleased with that. I feel like I should have gone around the edge in a darker colour, but yeah, it's coming too. It's coming too. Okay, so what do we need to do now? I think some stitching around the edge while I decide. Now, where's my stitchy tool? Which is not the proper name for it. Where are you? You're here somewhere. I know you are. You're hiding. It's crocodiles in here that take up all the space. There you are. So I usually use the back of my stamp pad. So far all we've used, oh, I need to snip off the antenna, don't I? So far all we've used is white cardstock and foil, and then lots of mediums. So this is my Rolly Stitch tool. Apparently you can get these in haberdasheries. Apologies, I haven't yet looked where you can get them, but it's just lots and lots of spikes on a wheel, and you roll it along and it pierces your paper. Presumably it does fabrics and things if you can buy them in haberdasheries. I just think it's brilliant. It's a fantastic tool. This one originally came from the brand Dreamies. When I did a little bit of demonstrating with them, I got one then, and yeah, I just think it's excellent. You'll see it more on the back there. It's actually piercing, but this then gives me a great guide. If I want to now go in with, do I want to do black pen or do I want to do, I think I'll do black pen with this. I'm just going to dot over. If I wanted to do real stitching, I've actually got the holes there to do that. Can you all see my head in? Hopefully not. Let's take the black out of the way now. So I just use the back of my stamping platform because it's got a foam base, and it's got the foam base so it's non-slip, but it's great for doing this on as well. And that's my, again, Creative Craft Products one. And I just run my pen over the dots. And it gives it a really cool sort of stitched look. You can do wobbly stitching if you want to. Just do straight lines usually. You can miss a few squares. That'd be cool. Miss stitches. I actually prefer, of anything, to take my sewing machine to paper and stitch a zigzag stitch, but I don't have my sewing machine with me yet. That will have its own place somewhere. I don't tend to use it very much for fabric. Usually just has an old needle in for paper. There we go. So I've got stitching around the edge. I do definitely feel like I need to get some ground espresso onto the edges of these wings. I'm very careful. This is taking ages to dry the glue with the foil. I carefully lift up the wings. That's better. Much better. Maybe we should all take a guess at how long this glue is going to take to dry under the foil. A very long time, I think. Sorry. You've got one of those, use it for clay work. Oh, that's a good, yeah. I suppose it would do, wouldn't it? Coming together really nice. Well, it's coming, something's coming together, Karen. Something's coming together. We'll get there. Grungy but pretty. Yeah, both ways. I haven't had any problems with any leaking yet, any of my ink pads leaking by storing them upside down. If you have Crafter's companion ink trays, they sit nicely in there too. There you go. Good tip. Stored some upside down. The mess was unbelievable. One was a red. Oh dear. No, never had an issue with it, but like I said, do switch them so they don't ever sit upside down for too long at a time, certainly not weeks at a time, because I do tend to use them all. Just looking at this together, just so we can see the difference between the brown edge. Definitely love the brown edge better. So should have done this before, but never mind. Okay, so what am I feel like I need to have a nice bright teal sentiment over the top of the butterfly. Just get in there. Being very, very careful with this delicate foil. I think this is going to be more of a something that you display rather than give on a card, like I say, unless you can stabilise it. But I'll make it as a card anyway. Okay, right. I really like the look of that distressed butterfly. Really loving that coming together. Okay, a little bit of darker brown on the edges to tie that in. Oh, it's because I used stencil glue. That's why it's not sticking. I thought it was my Creative Craft Products bookbinding glue, but it was pin flare stencil glue. Can you tell why I got the two confused? Maybe. There was a label on this, by the way. I can't remember why I peeled it off. I think it was coming off or something. Hi Debbie, how are you? Hope you're okay. I was wondering where to get one of those from. Christine Stokes is the name of her channel. Yeah, just Christine. I think if you go onto YouTube and type in the @ sign and Chrissy with an IE, Annie with an IE, I think that brings her up. But yeah, Christine Stokes, you should bring her up. She's got a black and white photo of her face. You'll see she's got about 15,000 followers. So that's her. Right, okay, so we've got this far. I need a sentiment or something over the top, but I'd also, what's my sentiment going to be? Ooh, let's see. Where's my, I did have some stamps. That's the key. Oh, I see, there's a key there. Chapter 1. I need some sentiments. I'm going to go digging, everybody. So excuse me, sorry if the microphone goes a bit funny. Can you all hear me okay? I just realised my microphone wasn't even actually attached to me, so I apologise. I'm going to bring it up, so it's going to get louder now, so some of you might need to turn it down. When did I take that off? I don't even remember taking it off. But I'm probably much, much louder now. And I'm just looking for a word. There's some nice words in there. There we go. So this is the Celestial Words. This is one of the sets actually that you can so I'm just checking for the comments for the sound. Apologies, I didn't realise my microphone wasn't on me. It seems like you could all hear me okay. Salvage Patina, yeah, I'm going to use vellum. This is one of the sets that you can win over on YouTube at the moment for the next week or two. So that's by going to mine and Christine's. I love that. I use that a lot, but I do love that. We've just got the word dreamer. It's a bit smaller. Star, believe. I do like the word dream. Nice and big, gives us the opportunity to play with the colours a little bit. Spot on, that's better. Sorry, you happy? Did anyone say that the sound was quiet? You could hear fine. Oh, well, I'm probably really loud now, so I apologise. And I did just drop a die. If anyone can see where I just dropped that die, that'd be very handy. No, never mind. Right, so I've got a scrap of cardstock here. Let's go in. Salvage, it's got to be salvage patina, hasn't it? Someone mentioned salvage patina. Definitely nice and bright. Oh, let's get lots and lots of that going on here. So we only need it big enough for the word dream, so we don't need to do too much. Okay, just give that a second to kind of, not dry, but just settle. It's so much easier to layer up the colour if you dry in between layers. My life is honey. Hello, how are you? Sound's been fine for you. Yes, you sound much better now. So some of you could still hear me fine. Tracking wheels, are they called, Paulo? They're called tracking wheels, are they? Sewers use them for patterns, not 100% sure. No, but it sounds reasonable. Maybe have a search for tracking wheel, tracing, sorry, I read that wrong, read that with a K in it. Tracing wheels, makes sense. Oh, I see, they'd go round a pattern with it, laid over the fabric, and it would mark the fabric underneath. That makes sense, does make sense, tracing wheels. Yep, Granny Annie 40. Your name's hilarious, I love that. Yeah, tracing wheels, there we go. What are you making? Okay, so having a play, some things have worked and some things haven't. We'll need to go back and watch the entire tutorial to see everything today. But basically we've used white paper in an embossing folder and we've created a background. Then we've used tin foil to create a distressed butterfly with paint on it, and we've tried embossing it. That didn't work, but we had fun. And then now we're making a sentiment to go over the top. And I'm really liking this kind of yellowy, creamy colour coming through. I don't use yellow as a rule very often. E. Matthews, let me see. Spot on. Oh, you're talking to the sewing tool, sorry. There we go. So I think that's probably going to be enough. We'll see if it's bright enough once we've die cut it. I think I'm probably going to emboss this so it kind of gives it an enamel look as well. I still haven't shown you the freezer crackle technique, have I? Which is super cool. One day we'll do that. Actually, that's quite handy. I think one day my fridge freezer will be in here. Not actually in my craft room, but very close by. It's sort of just outside it. So when it is, that's the ideal time for me to do that. Okay, got the word dream. Pop this out. Come on, out you come. You can do it. Do you know what would look nice on this? I haven't got it on me. That's frustrating. Would have looked nice with some glaze, the distressed glaze on it in this colour. Would have looked beautiful. So I think that's going to work over the top there, but I want it to shine a bit more. So let's put clear. Where's my clear powder? Oh, there it is. Clear powder over the top. Give it a glossy look. Obviously give this a wipe now because it's going to be super sticky. Very happy today. Why am I so happy today? Not that I'm complaining. I'm just going to use this envelope. Actually, I've had a productive morning, to be honest. I woke up early and so I'm back to running again, which is nice, but I didn't do it this morning. I actually, at the moment, I'm running every other day. And I ran yesterday, so today was a morning off, but I was still up early. And what was the first thing I did was sort out my house insurance, which was one of those, one of those jobs you just put off. It's not exciting. I needed to just get a quote and just sort it out. And I did it, got that sorted, did it online. Isn't online brilliant now? Because you can just do these things like any time of day. So got that done about 5 o'clock this morning. And then I decided I needed to sort out all my paperwork, which is, you know, all the bills that come through the post. And just basically, yeah, all my paperwork was sitting beside my front door, needed sorting, either throwing, recycling or filing. So got all that sorted, which was nice. Reminded me of a few things I still had to do though, which wasn't so nice. But yeah, I think that's why. I think being productive makes me happy. There we go. So just melted all of that, made it glossy, stuck my finger in the wet embossing. Well done. I haven't glued that down yet. I'm going to put it on foam. Do we think that there? Is that going to be okay there? I feel like I'm just going to pop a little bit of espresso here. Just a little bit to make that dream stand out a bit more. So I'm kind of dabbing because I want to be careful of that foil. I think that's just going to help that stand out a bit more. I'm going to glue that down with the correct glue. Sentiment background looks very dreamy, very nice. Knitting bomb. Oh, hang on. You saw the knitting bomb video that I did. Oh, was that a video from a long time ago when I was out and I saw all the, yarn bombing, isn't it called? God, that was a while ago. It's when I lived in my old house. That was awesome. I think that's about central. Do you know what? I've got a Dee Ream song in my head at the moment. Things can only get better. I'm not going to sing it, obviously, but nobody needs to hear me sing. I can't do it. Not nicely, anyway. But I've got a Dee Ream song in my head. Now, that might take a little while to stick. Do you know what, actually? Silly me. Let's not, I'm just going to take that off. Right, where are you? Black foam would have been such a better decision. Sam, geez girl, don't you sleep? You're always busy. Sam. Oh, 5 a.m, not Sam. 5 a.m. No, my husband gets up at 5, so we get up and we have a cup of tea together. He goes off for his work and I stay home, and yesterday morning I was mixing up concrete after my run because I thought it was more sensible to do it whilst I was already dirty and sweaty. So I was concreting in the house, but do you know what? I love it. I love being productive, and that's what puts me in a good mood. If I sit around and don't really do anything, I get a bit grumpy. And we're having our kitchen plastered soon. I'm so excited. On Friday the kitchen's being plastered. Honestly, it's the most exciting part. The first bit of plastering that we had done was really exciting, but this one, I mean, this is like the biggest room in the house. It's downstairs, obviously, and we're literally living around rubble at the moment. So to finally have that room plastered and then painted, which frustratingly it's going to need painting the weekend that I'm in Doncaster, so I won't be able to do that. I'm going to try and get it done a day or two before I go if I can, so that my husband has no excuse not to be starting to put the kitchen units together. We shall see. But yeah, I'm hoping in about a month's time we will have a new working kitchen. Fingers crossed. That's my estimations. Ready for summer barbecues, which coincidentally are cooked outside. But you get the idea. Now, what am I doing here? I'm not concentrating. I'm taking it out. Oh, I see. The E has stuck to itself. There we go. I'm taking it out, and I don't want to take it out because I want to stick I'm just going to try and slot that back in. This is me chatting about my kitchen look. Something's happened to the E. It's all kind of got folded up there. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing here. Making a mess is what I'm doing. Right, we'll see what happens with that. Let's take the rest of the letters off. Anyone else humming the same song now? Or did anyone else sing a little bit of it when I said that's what I was thinking of? Okay, who can see my dream? There it is. Why didn't I think of the foam in the beginning? So what we've got coming up now, there is a bit of a change to Friday lives on Craft Stash. So I'll just tell those of you who do watch Craft Stash lives with myself, with Sam, with any other guests we have, we're still going to be doing them. Don't worry, they're still going to be there, 12:30 every day. It's not always going to be just one big launch though. So it might just be a recap of the week. It might just be a bit of a craft along. We are going to be I'm going to be continuing these Wednesday lives. They won't always be as hectic as this. Some of them will actually have structure and techniques that work. Sam is doing her live this week. Rather than today, she's going to be doing it tomorrow. I think she said 2 o'clock tomorrow. Sam, correct me if I'm wrong. And then on YouTube, I've still got my distress videos going out every couple of days, even the naughty ones that publish at the wrong times. I'm going to be doing a technique video every week, and I'm going to be doing the quick cards make every week. So the technique one is new, that's going on Friday. Sorry, the quick cards one is new, it's going up on Friday. And then there's these, the lives as well. So lots and lots going on. Right. Yep, that. Do you know what? The beauty of this sort of project is because I'm going for kind of the distressed look, anything that goes wrong doesn't matter too much. You just say, yeah, it's part of the design. And this is probably why I'm no good with clean and simple. Or just clean looking at least, because I can't do it. I make things wrong. Okay, there we go. Dream. I think that's working, isn't it? Right. Let me have a look. 2 p.m. Lots of deadlines today. Oh, cricket series videos. Thank you. Yes, on. Thank you so much, Lynn. Yes, on Craft Stash on the YouTube channel. If you've got a cricket machine, a Cricket Joy particularly, I'm exploring using it, so setting it up, design space as well, how to use that and all the features on that. And I'm doing it all. I was a beginner. I was sent a machine. I didn't open it until the very first video that you'll see on there already. So yeah, it's really good fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm doing a project every week as well. So from what I've learned that week, I'm then doing a project so you can follow along. And you don't have to be a beginner for that, of course. But yeah, if you've got a Cricket Joy, if you're thinking about buying one, or if you're just interested in what it is and what it does from a beginner's point of view, then definitely go and check that out on YouTube on the Craft Stash channel. It's really, do you know, there's actually a lot you can do with a Cricket Joy, and because it's a smaller machine, it just sort of sits in the corner on my desk, and it's really cute. And I just plug it in, and if I need a sentiment and I haven't got one in die form or stamp form, I just quickly cut one out. It's really cool. Right, so pop that in the middle there. I've just raised that up on foam a little bit. Still want those wings. I definitely think I'm going to spray these wings with a bit. Oh look, I've got an extra bit of foam there. I'm going to spray these wings with a bit of acrylic spray just to kind of stabilise them a little bit. Your daughter's got one, has she, Maureen? Hope she enjoys it. I hope she uses it. That's the main thing. So many people were saying that they don't use their Cricut Joy or any other cutting machine. You'd have screwed it up and put it in the bin. No, do you think it's worked? You can't get it. Carol, you can't get excited about kitchens ever. It's the least used room in the house. So for us, it's the most used room. My husband loves cooking. I've not finished this yet. Let's get it onto a card base. My husband absolutely loves cooking. And because I hate cooking, I'll admit I really don't I love eating. But it's going to be a kitchen diner, and it's almost a little bit open plan, or just sort of a walkway through to the living room as well. And because we've got 5 kids between us, they're not kids anymore, but it just means that we are always in the kitchen doing something, and they can be with us. Does that make sense? They can sort of sit with us. We're going to have a breakfast bar and a big seating area. Bye, Carol. Yeah, Adriana, yeah, D-Ream, sorry about that. Yeah, so it's really, it's important to us, the kitchen, I think, so I'm really excited to have that done. And again, as I say, it's the main room at the minute downstairs that we want finished. If you saw the kitchen we were living in at the moment, or using at the moment, it's not nice. Now, what size did I do this, and am I going to fit this? And no, it's not quite going to fit. Darn it, I'm going to have to make a card base. I've probably got one. It means using a pre-made one though, and pulling it out of a box that's pretty much stuck at the moment. So let's see. No, I'll have to make a card base. Oh, what's this? That's a bit of cardstock. Tell you what I'll do, everyone. Save you watching me actually make a card base. Let me just do the front panel, and then I'll attach it to a card base a little bit later. So you'll see the end result, but I'll do the back bit in a little while. How about that? So get my trimmer. Oh, by the way, the blades on my trimmer, the blade of my trimmer was dulling a little bit and starting to feather my cardstock, and I was waiting for a new set of blades, because this Creative Craft Products trimmer does come with replacement blades. I was waiting for new ones to arrive, and I sharpened it with a bit of foil. Since I've got foil with me, I just cut the foil a few times, and honestly, it worked a dream, and it lasted ages. I've still not actually replaced the blade yet, although the new ones have come, because it sharpened it well enough for me not to need to worry. So there's a tip for you if you've never used that. I'm sure lots of people have. It's been around a long time. Where did I mark the cardstock? There it is. There we go. I always like to mat things. And one there. So we're using foil a lot today, aren't we? Pop that out the way. A nice clean sheet. I won't raise this up on foam. We've got lots of dimension. If I just hold that up, you'll see we've got those loosely sort of sitting there. You can't see the crackle effect on there that I got with the when I scrunched it up and applied the paint, but I will be posting some photos of this a little bit later. I'll do it straight after the live actually, so you can see the effect that's on the foil. It's really nice. Definitely need a close-up. Whoop, 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 whoop. And there we go. I think it's not usually what I would do, but I think I'm going to actually leave the outside white, because I think it makes it pop. You use your dull blades for cutting craft board. Good idea. Tinfoil's great for sharpening. Yeah, all sorts of blades. You love cooking, but get very frustrated the kitchen's small since we needed to downsize. It's a shame, isn't it? We've been working in a small kitchen. The oven's in the garage, the microwave's in the garage, the food cupboards are in the garage. We've just got a couple of bits of worktop with a sink and the kettle and that. And cooking is not a pleasure at all at the moment. Hasn't been for a while. So it will be really nice. And maybe I'll get into cooking. Do you know, it's a patience thing. I just don't have the patience to sit and wait for hours for something to cook. And when I do cook, my husband will tell you, when I do cook, I just cremate everything, because I'm just like, whack it on, get it cooked as soon as possible. Whereas he's got the patience, and he does all the seasoning and things like this. Here you go. Here's the white splatters as always. I don't think it would be a project from me if I didn't have white splatters on it, with the same ink as I usually use. There we go. I think we're done. What time are we on? Oh, 10 past 11. Apologies, everybody. Overran just a little bit, but... So how do we think it came out, considering the mess that it was at the beginning? Some of the techniques didn't work. Some did, I think. I'll just do this. I'm just going to hold this up for you. I need to clean my paintbrush quickly because I do forget, so lots of water. Okay, so let's hold this up and have a quick look at it. Oh yeah, because I haven't got a back to it yet, have I? There we go. Can you see that okay? Is that focused in okay? Now if I bring it right up, can you see the crackle in the foil? Or is it too close? I don't know if it's focusing or not. But yeah, there we go. That's a bit different, isn't it? The background looks quite cool actually from that embossing folder. Not too much green in it, but there are little hints of the blue colour in there, and they've just sort of seeped in and bled in a little bit. Thank goodness that actually turned out okay in the end. I'm quite pleased with that now. I'll get photos of this up straight away, so you can see that detail that's in there before you sort of forget what I did. But yeah, thank you so much everybody who's joined me on YouTube, because I've not been live on YouTube for very long, so thank you. But also all my regulars on Facebook as well. Sandra, you've enjoyed the process. Yeah, Jenny turned out so much better than expected. Yeah, for those people who signed out sort of half an hour ago and thought, oh, this is rubbish, please come back and have a look. It's not so bad. Shadiah, is it Shadiah? Sorry, yeah, Shadiah, that's what I said, wasn't it? I will learn your name properly. Thank you so much everybody. So I will see you again. Don't forget, like I say, videos on YouTube, uploading all the time, so make sure you subscribe there. It's Paper Crafting with Lou Collins. And I'm sure I'll see you on the Craft Stash page again very soon too. So take care everybody, and have a wonderful